actively, raising capital. We have products complete, patents filed, initial validation done. So we're in that phase where we're really moving to market, and we're doing that with a very strong team of experienced people, PhDs, key opinion leaders, industry veterans who've been there, done it. They've built devices, commercialized devices. And, I would be very excited to talk more about the details about our studies, our applications. But, right now our focus over the next 3 years is how can we bring this device into the emergency departments, into an existing workflow, into a workflow that has existing reimbursement codes, but can deliver impact. It can improve patient outcomes and reduce hospital costs. So happy to chat more. Thank you.
Thank you, Atandra. Great overview on things. I'm sorry we got a little noise here, so I'll let somebody else ask the first question.
Do you have a picture? Maybe I missed it, of the device.
Yeah. It's basically, here's the device. Oh, well, you can't see it in this virtual background, but here, I'll show you a video. So you see the device on the left here, and then the videos on the right. It's a very portable device. It was designed with the help of emergency department, ICU nurses, doctors, EMTs, basically to sit on the central station of an ED, front entrance, ambulances.
What, do they swipe across the chest, or how?
No.
I don't see a video.
Oh, you don't?
I think the video's not showing up for us.
Were you able to see any of the slides today?
No, I didn't see any of the slides when.
Wow.
You kept talking about some hardware, and that's the only slide I saw.
Wow. Okay, here. It'll take less than 30 seconds to kind of put visual context. So this was the problem. Over 10 million patients in the ED. Over 80% are false positives. This is the invasive blood draw that takes an hour to report, and sometimes a series of them take about 3 hours. Here's the device. You can see the screen right now.
Yeah, I can see your product. Okay, now I see a slide. Okay, a video on the side.
Yeah, this will be a 20-second slide, and I'll show you the other slides. It should be only another 5-10 seconds. But yeah, very simple. It's you don't put it around the chest. You come in, you're sitting in a chair. You can be laying down, whichever way. You just put the wrist on the device. So it can be operated by any nurse technician. You don't need a phlebotomist, charge nurse. Anyone can do this. And the reading is instant on the device. So it's like a stethoscope, right? You can hear this heart sound. You can see the proteins leaking out of the blood. And these were the couple other slides, which were very key. Emergency departments are first priority, but after, in the out years, after 3 years, or even sooner, we might start to look at ambulances, urgent cares, minute clinics, nursing homes. These were the clinical partners we have already worked with, UCSF Wellstar, some of the other ones. I talked about the FDA breakthrough designation and a little bit about context to the business model. So I think you probably, hopefully, are able to now put context to everything I said. Sorry, I didn't know that the video was not showing up.
That's okay. We saw it now.
Okay, great.
I have a question. How is it capturing troponin proteins? Like, what kind of image are you using? I'm just a little confused by that.
Yeah, it's using an optical-based technology. So we're using molecular spectroscopy, and we're looking at these proteins. And so these are polar compounds, and we're able to look at them in vibrational mode. So it's,
Okay.
actually pretty simple quantum mechanics, so just exciting those proteins from equilibrium to vibrational in a natural state. And we were able to look at the absorption spectrum.
Interesting.
You said the device takes about 3 minutes to get an accurate reading, right? It's not like an Apple Watch where it's almost instant. It has to analyze it for a longer period of time to make sure it's correct.
It can be done in 15 seconds, but right now we'd like to gun for 3 minutes because that's ideal with noise artifacts, with placement of the hand, and we're taking 6 readings in those 3 minutes, and this is something we don't want to mess around with, so got to be accurate. So that's the reason for 3 minutes. And that's still a very good indication as compared to over an hour in terms of hospital savings and accelerating diagnostic protocol to saving lives.
Interesting.
Sounds very exciting. Do you think there's an opportunity for this device to be used in telehealth applications by patients themselves?
Absolutely.
Because like Tidahome, it has an interesting model, right? They partnered with Novant and a lot of other providers, and you can just buy through Novant or through, CMS. It'd be nice to see something like that at some point. And actually, to Apple's watch point, I mean, I don't know, this device so far looks a little bit more bulky than the watch, but I don't know. Do you think in the next 5-10 years there is an opportunity to build in this technology into like a wearable that people just kind of wear and they check on, like the device checks on them every so often? Like I would love for my parents to have something like that,
Yeah. So, our vision is definitely a world with fewer heart attacks. The only way we can do this is monitor these patients at home. So, if a person doesn't feel chest pain and doesn't show up to the ED, we can't help it. So working towards our vision, and again, those, like you mentioned, the 5 years and beyond, we're working to the next future, which is the at-home diagnostic kit. So that's where this device miniaturizes, Trope Sensor Nano and the ECG vest, and that really starts to give continuous, and AI, distributed AI models which sit on your phone and they can alert first responders. So it integrates really well. But yes, in the future, in 5 to 10 years, would definitely go that route.
And so you do have you have every FDA approval and certification you need, and you're just looking to grow right now, or where are you currently at in your process?
No, so where we are is we have done preliminary research, which has shown a correlation of our device optical readout with standard of care concentration values. What we're doing right now is working with the FDA and our clinical sites on the pivotal endpoints, so the data points that they need to get this through pre-market submission. We anticipate submitting to the FDA in the summer next year and hopefully fast tracking this to get a clearance by the end of next year.
Cool.
Does this device tell you like, yes, for sure you've had a heart attack, or is this device more so like, yeah, it seems like this is probably the thing, or no, this is absolutely not the problem?
No, we don't prognosticate. We're not telling you it's a heart attack. We're just giving a value, a concentration value of troponin. What a clinician does with that is standard of care, right? So troponin can be high in heart attacks, but it can also be high in pulmonary disorders, cardiac comorbidities. Say, for example, we're running a trial with Wellstar in COVID patients where you have sudden myocarditis from inflammation in the heart. It's not a heart attack. Troponins are high. So that troponin value can be used for anything. And so there's a lot of use cases. So we're not saying whether you have a heart attack or not, we're just giving a value of this injury biomarker.
Basically, you don't want elevated troponin.
It's a bad thing, that's right.
Yes, there's enough clinical studies that show it's a bad prognosis if you have elevated troponin. And also, to that aspect, there is enough studies with landmark trials recently that show if you have a very, very low concentration below a certain level, there is a high negative predictive value, which means there's a very good chance you will not have a heart attack. And that's what we're gunning for, is how can we rule out heart attacks for now.
And this is where I insert a joke, and it's completely different than tryptophan, which is the Thanksgiving drug. So, I was the CTO for an emergency department software, and we were deploying our software with HCA hospitals and stuff like that. So, I think it's really interesting to potentially put this in the triage component of an intake in the ED, because it can be done so quickly to help triage and classify you whether you're a more urgent need to see a doctor and maybe run some of those more extensive tests or something, versus no, you can wait in the waiting room while we deal with the gunshot wound or whatever else is coming in. So do you see it being used as a triaging tool in the very beginning at the nurse's station kind of thing, or do you think it's something that is further down in the ED process?
Yeah, so again, we're listening to our customers where it's going to get used. We have to survive as a startup. You know, we have pretty much one bullet in the barrel, so we chamber just got to hit it. So all unanimous feedback is emergency department at the entrance, and it's basically used for triage rule out. We have strong insights from capitated healthcare systems where you have urgent cares integrated into these health systems, and 7 out of 10 patients for chest pain are coming through urgent cares directed to the ED. Well, if we put this device right in those urgent cares, now you're diverting those, 7 out of 10 patients to an outpatient facility. You're not going to ED. So I think that's what we're gunning for, is focus on just getting this in the emergency departments. It will be used as a triage to rule out cardiac disorders at the entrance. Now, the applications of this and the way we sell this so that they can buy more of our devices is that that's the big volume thing, but this can be used many other places. So, when you have a heart attack or you have a cardiac condition, after they do procedure like PCI CABG, some intervention, they put a stent, they can monitor for, post-op infarctions or heart attacks. For many of the non-cardiac surgeries, like abdominal surgeries and surgeries, those have a high chance of type 2 types of heart attacks. And these are patients who are coming out of surgery sedated, so they don't feel pain. So again, a device that can actually help them proactively look at patients, like I said, COVID patients, all of that. But yeah, focus is emergency departments at the entrance.
I guess it's interesting because I dealt with some telemedicine stuff in the past as well, and the moms and the wives at home are the doctors of the house. And so the men are stubborn, and the men don't even realize they're having a heart attack. So you wind up calling your telemedicine doctor, and he's telling you, yeah, if the tingling is there, you're definitely having a heart attack. Stop talking to me on telemedicine and go to the emergency room. Like, do you see this being deployed in CVS and Walgreens as a stubborn male tool to get you to actually go to the emergency room? Or
yeah, heart attacks, chest pain can happen anywhere.
Right.
They run like a clock, so anytime anything can happen, and we have to move. Technology has to be omnipresent. It's got to be patient-centric, not just at the clinical site. So yes, absolutely, CVS, Walgreens, Kroger, clinics, all those places.
I guess that implies, though, at some point you stop reporting a value and start making a decision that your levels are elevated enough that it's concerning and you should go to the emergency room, right?
And we'll leave that decision by clinicians to make what that threshold is.
Yeah. Good stuff. So what are the next steps for you? You're trying to raise additional funding to see through the FDA pieces of this, and you're trying to just get more pilots running to help effectuate a solid data set?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think maybe just to, I think you probably didn't see the slide before, but this is pretty much, we have those products complete, patents filed, initial validation done, pivotal trials with those partners, Texas Medical Center, Sinai, Emory with Grady EDs. And so all of these EDs are the places we've identified, and we need to run these pivotal trials in line with the pre-market submission. So that's our focus for the next, 9 months.
Cool. So I guess what can the community do to help you?
Definitely, I'm a straight shooter, so I'll just be honest. I'm actively looking for funding, and that will be something I'm very interested in. That is prime, and keeping it simple, that's the only ask right now, and that's the focus I need from community. And then outside of that, what I'll do with the funds is double down focus with the clinical partners to get the clinical studies done, get the data, just get the volume. So that we just got to keep it simple at that.
What's your valuation at 2 million raise?
I'm sorry?
What is the valuation for that 2 million?
This
What
is
are
on-
you giving out for that $2 million?
Currently, it's on a 6 million dilution cap on a safe with 20% price per share discount on price per share to the next equity round.
So for 2 million, it's, I guess, what percentage of the company is that? I'm just curious.
So again, it's a safe, so it's a 6 million cap. So if you fill all 2 million with, you know, on the safe, it's 2 million on a 6 million pre. But if you're a single investor, some people are interested in doing equity round, and we can talk about, whether we price it at a certain pre-money. But with the current term sheet on a safe, it's almost like a 6 million pre, so 20%.
But it's not a crowdsourcing, right? You're looking for institutional investors, I assume.
Yeah, we are trying to keep under the radar. It's very important. Again, we're going up against some strategic folks like Roche, Abbott, Siemens, and so we just have to move really fast. And yeah, so one-on-one direct targets, physician investors is our focus. They understand the problem, and then institutional investors.
What's your IP look like right now? I don't think, or I see 5 patents pending. Nothing been awarded just yet, I'm assuming.
Not yet. So we have 5 patents filed. One of the first ones being that trope sensor device that you saw. So we will be, so that's non-provisional file. We expect, within the next 6 months to get that granted. But we do have line of sight with those, with that IP to start looking at PCT and global coverage. So looking not just the product, but beyond into the market. But that's our IP strategy, is kind of move effectively with time and, dollars to secure the market eventually. And I just want to add one more thing on the IP strategy. The IP strategy is done very carefully, looking at what J&J, Medtronic, and some of the other folks are doing, and how we can definitely secure a higher valuation for an exit or acquisition by some of them.
Very cool. Thank you, Atandra, for being here. Please drop your contact details in the chat room. And anybody that wants to reach out to you or Jamie can do so. So thank you both for your awesome presentations.
Thank you.
We got a few minutes left till